3 hits. That's all. Samsung's offensive collapse has fans furious. Is it time to replace Diaz? What happens when a team with playoff ambitions suddenly looks completely lost at the plate? What happens when your ace battles through adversity, your bullpen does its job, your team still has opportunities late in the game, and yet somehow you walk away with another painful loss? And perhaps the most shocking question of all, what happens when a professional baseball team manages only 3 hits in an entire game? That's exactly the nightmare Samsung Lions fans are dealing with right now. 3 hits, not 13, not even 6 or 7, just 3. And while some fans may point out that Samsung still managed to fight back late and even made the score respectable thanks to a dramatic home run, the reality is impossible to ignore. You cannot expect to win consistently when your offense disappears for most of the game. You cannot expect pitchers to carry the team every night. And right now, that's exactly the problem Samsung finds itself facing. The Lions have now dropped 3 consecutive games. What's even more concerning is that these aren't losses that make fans think, well, the opponent was simply better. Instead, they're the kind of losses that leave everyone asking the same question. What's wrong with this lineup? Today we're breaking down another frustrating defeat. The growing offensive crisis, Diaz's struggles, the pressure mounting on key hitters, and why Samsung's current trajectory should worry every fan heading into the heart of the season. Because if something doesn't change soon, the conversation may no longer be about chasing first place. It may become about simply holding on to third. Let's get into it. Coming into this game, Samsung fans still had reason to believe. After all, this team isn't built to lose 3 straight games. This roster has talent. This lineup has proven it can score runs. And this pitching staff has given the team opportunities to win throughout the season. But from the very beginning, something felt off. The offense never found a rhythm. At-bat after at-bat ended with disappointment. Opportunities disappeared almost as quickly as they appeared. Meanwhile, the opposing starter looked increasingly comfortable. As the innings passed, Samsung hitters seemed unable to make any meaningful adjustments. And that's where the frustration truly began. Now, credit should absolutely be given to the opposing pitcher. He threw well. He attacked the zone. He stayed composed. But let's be honest. Samsung's inability to generate offense may have been even more surprising than the quality of the pitching they faced. Because this wasn't simply a case of getting beaten by an elite performance. This looked like a lineup struggling to find answers. The swings weren't sharp. The timing looked off. The approach felt passive. And inning after inning, the Lions kept walking back to the dugout empty-handed. Perhaps the most frustrating aspect of the game was watching starting pitcher Won Tai-in battle through difficult circumstances. Was this his best outing? Number? Not even close. His command wasn't as crisp as usual. He frequently found himself working deep into counts. There were moments when he clearly didn't have his best stuff. Yet despite all of that, he continued competing. He fought through traffic. He managed dangerous situations. He kept giving his team chances. And that's what makes this loss so painful. When your ace doesn't have his best command but still manages to keep you in the game, you hope the offense will reward that effort. Instead, the lineup remained silent. Completely silent. In modern baseball, there's only so much a pitcher can do. A starter can prevent runs. He can keep the game close. He can give his team a chance. But he can't score runs himself. Eventually, the hitters have to respond. And Samsung's hitters simply didn't. That reality became increasingly obvious as the game progressed. For 6 innings, there was almost no offensive pressure. No sustained rallies. No meaningful threats. No signs that a breakthrough was coming. The numbers tell the story better than any emotional reaction ever could. Through the first 6 innings, Samsung struggled to even reach scoring position. Not only were they failing to drive runners home, they were barely creating opportunities to begin with. Against a team fighting to maintain its place near the top of the standings, that's a dangerous formula. And it finally caught up with them. Meanwhile, Won Tai-in kept fighting. He threw more than 100 pitches. Think about that for a moment. More than 100 pitches despite clearly not having his sharpest command. That alone tells you how hard he had to work. Several at-bats became lengthy battles. Certain hitters forced him deep into counts. There were multiple situations where a single mistake could have completely changed the game. Yet somehow he continued finding ways to limit the damage. That's what competitors do. That's what leaders do. They give their team a chance. Unfortunately, chances only matter when somebody takes advantage of them. And Samsung never truly did. As frustrating as the pitching situation was, the offensive numbers are what should concern fans the most. Because this isn't just one bad night. This has become a trend. The Lions have struggled offensively throughout June. Their team batting average has fallen near the bottom of the league. Their OPS ranking continues to disappoint. Their performance with runners in scoring position remains inconsistent. Even more alarming, they simply aren't creating enough scoring opportunities. You can't drive runners home if nobody is reaching base. You can't produce clutch hits if nobody is standing on second or third. And that's exactly where Samsung finds itself. An offense that looks stuck. An offense that seems unable to generate momentum. An offense that desperately needs someone to step up. Then finally, in the 7th inning, something happened. A spark. A brief moment of hope. The kind of moment that reminds fans why baseball is so emotional. A walk. A runner reaches. Then another opportunity. And suddenly Lee Jae-hyun steps into the batter's box. What happened next completely changed the atmosphere. Boom! A 3-run home run. A massive blast. A 120-meter missile that instantly brought life back into Samsung's dugout. For the first time all night, fans felt excitement. For the first time all night, it felt like momentum might be shifting. And perhaps most importantly, it reminded everyone just how valuable Lee Jae-hyun has become. Without him, Samsung may not have scored at all. That's not an exaggeration. That's reality. His power has become one of the few consistent bright spots in an otherwise frustrating stretch. Already sitting at 8 home runs, he continues proving why he's becoming one of the most important pieces of Samsung's future. His OPS keeps climbing. His confidence keeps growing. And every time he steps into the batter's box, he gives fans hope. The problem is that one player can't carry an entire offense. Not over a full season. Not during a playoff race. Not when everyone else is struggling. And that's where the larger concerns begin. Because while Lee Jae-hyun provided the highlight, the rest of the lineup continued raising uncomfortable questions. Questions about approach. Questions about consistency. Questions about whether certain players are producing enough. And perhaps no player finds himself under more scrutiny right now than Diaz. The frustration surrounding Diaz continues to grow. Fans expected impact. They expected production. They expected a foreign hitter capable of changing games. Instead, many are beginning to wonder whether the organization can continue waiting for things to turn around. Fair or unfair, expectations are different for foreign hitters. That's simply reality. When you're brought in to be a middle-of-the-order force, people expect results. And right now, the results aren't quieting the criticism. If anything, they're fueling it. The conversations are getting louder. The doubts are becoming more frequent. And with every offensive struggle, more fans are asking the same question. How much longer can Samsung stay patient? That question may soon become one of the biggest storylines surrounding this team. Because the standings aren't waiting. The season isn't slowing down. And the pressure continues to build.